against abortion in some instances. If it's just for the sake of, because I'm pregnant, I'm gonna get rid of it, that's different. But if somebody is being raped or abused in some way and they got pregnant, I would think that it is more reason to have an abortion.
There's a lot of trauma that exists after people realize what they've done.
Abortion? It's no big deal. It's like getting a tooth pulled.
Women are told that abortion is not a big deal, that it's like getting a tooth pulled. They are not being told the truth.
Coral Ridge Ministries presents 10 Truths About Abortion.
Featuring special guest Tawana Amon, Executive Director of Broward Right to Life and also a post-abortive woman, and Dr. Robert Sudmak, a successful obstetrician, gynecologist, and a former abortionist.
Truth number 3.
Abortion hurts women, now and in the future.
Abortion not only kills children, it scars women physically and emotionally. I know. When I had my abortion, I bought the lie. They told me I could go on with my life. They told me it wasn't a big deal and I could put it all behind me. But that wasn't true. It came back to haunt me. And I was able to share my testimony with Coral Ridge Ministries several years ago. I had not dealt with any kind of guilt yet, or shame, or regret. I had gone on with my life and still that was like compartmentalized. I was starting to listen to Christian radio again, and I turned on a broadcast that described a child during an abortion procedure. And when I heard this broadcast describing from the child's perspective, and it was a dramatization of a child in the womb and how the heartbeat accelerates and how it tries to escape the abortionist tools, the conviction, I mean, obviously was immediate. And the first thing I said was, I've taken the life of my own child. And it was like a veil had literally been lifted.
Overcome with feelings of depression and guilt, Tawana found help through post-abortion counseling and ultimately found God's forgiveness and healing. She later married, and soon the couple was expecting a baby. But complications arose, and at just 21 weeks, John and Tawana's son was born. They named him David Nathan.
When they brought him to me, the nurse said he's alive, but the doctor said he was going to die. So John took him and held him, but I didn't, because I couldn't bond with him. When we went to make the arrangements for the funeral and we saw the death certificate, we saw that he had lived for 3 hours, and the fact that he was in that incubator, and I didn't hold him. When I lost the baby, I was devastated. I didn't understand that when I had the abortion, I could have problems in future pregnancies. And the reality of what happened really hit me, and I was devastated. You see, I found out that I experienced cervical damage as a result of my abortion, and my story is not an uncommon one. Many women experience long-term consequences.
Abortion does hurt women in a very big way. In fact, there is a new psychiatric entity known as post-abortal syndrome, which is an extension of post-traumatic stress disorder. It usually manifests itself 30 days or more after the event. These women typically present with symptoms of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and become broken down people, having difficulty communicating with family and friends and reintegrating into society.
Women who've had abortions are at a higher risk of committing suicide, experiencing depression, suffering from guilt, grief, and regret. Physical consequences are great: hemorrhaging, bleeding, premature deliveries, infertility, perforated uteruses. These are real consequences to a woman.
Women who terminate their pregnancies increase their risk for breast cancer. Some studies have shown as much as 12-fold. So yes, abortion hurts women in more ways than we realize.
One study published in the Southern Medical Journal involving 137,000 pregnant women revealed that women who chose abortion were 62% more likely to die than those women who carried their babies to term. For every pro-abortion activist that claims that women have a right to choose and it's her own body, there are many more women that are suffering the consequences of abortion and are wounded and broken.
Leslie and Alan Unruh of South Dakota have been actively promoting pro-life values, helping pregnant women, and promoting abstinence education for years.
So we've had a long struggle, long battle, and my wife, being a victim of this, was on the other side, thought it was a woman's choice, and she never realized God was calling her, because of her experience, to use the worst thing that ever happened in her life for good. And God can take you from where you were and use you in a way that you'd never dreamed possible.